Yes. What's going on, everybody? Hello, welcome, and thank you for tuning in for anything and everything rock and roll. Of course, with a little bit of ADD. I'm Zach.
I'm TJ.
And I'm Robin.
And you're listening to Rock Detention.
I don't feel tardy.
Gentlemen, how are we?
Always good, man.
Always
How
good.
you boys?
Yeah, we're good. I'm
Really?
Good. Yeah.
We're a little late tonight. Sorry, everybody. Robin,
Yeah.
why are we late?
Because I was on another podcast tonight. So,
Dude,
and they only
how did
do
it go?
They only do it on Tuesdays, and they've been doing it for years. So they kind of won out on the they had seniority.
Understandable.
But and you want to take a wild guess at what episode number I was?
Was it 69?
It was 169.
Hey, that's 100 more, man.
Exactly.
I love it.
I just was cracking up at that. But so it was a show called Comedians Interviewing Musicians, and I went on there and I was interviewed.
Were you the comedian?
Yeah, right. Yeah, me. The only comedy about me is this right here.
Oh, shut up. You're handsome.
Self-deprecating humor. So I was the musician guest this evening, and I went on and sang several of my songs and had some really hilarious conversations with the host. There's usually two, but sadly one of them was sick tonight, so I just had one. I've done it before, and so the last time there were two hosts, and we talked to the other one over the phone, so it was really funny. She called in like halfway during the show.
Cool, man.
So
Was there a lot of laughter?
yes, it's tons of laughter. And there was tons of moments where my mother was rolling her eyes at me.
Good.
So
Was she at the live show?
yeah, she performed with me on a couple of the numbers. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Well,
And was there a live audience?
No, there was no live audience. I mean, yes, there were people there, but it was only those that were necessary. But it was the first in-person live performance that they'd done in a while. I think in over a year. Usually they've been doing it the same way that we're doing this podcast, where they're all logging in from their own homes and going live that way. So this was the first one they did with everybody in the same room, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So
Neato, gang. And TJ, I heard you're pretty happy this morning. I got an interesting text super early today. Did you want to tell everybody why you're so happy?
All the sauna's back. And the steamer.
oh, that's right.
Good Lord.
I got that text and was just like, cool.
Yeah.
Just went right back to sleep.
For those of you who don't know, TJ has literally called me every day for the last year, complaining to me about how he's great, but the sauna isn't open, and it really infuriates him. But today, Minnesota, up north, that sounded New York, but Minnesota opened their
That's
sauna
so
back.
good. That's so good.
It was great.
I can't wait for tomorrow and the next day and hopefully the rest of my life.
Speaking
For like 100 years.
Speaking of TJ, hey, you want to angle your camera down a little bit? You're kind of like,
I was wondering about that.
There you
That's
go.
not a little bit right
There we
yeah.
go.
That's
There we
more
go.
black.
Yeah.
Beautiful mug.
Shucks.
Yeah.
Right on.
Anyways,
So-
on that note, hey Robin, I do want to say this. I appreciate your honesty. That's step one in recovery of like a affair with another podcast. So I do appreciate that.
Wonderful. All right, gentlemen, I'm really excited about our guest this evening. I met this guy, shucks, probably 5 years ago, maybe even longer. And I'll tell the story when he's on here in a second. I mean, you know what? I'm just going to keep it short and to the point. The voice of rock and roll radio, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dennis Huff.
The voice of rock radio. I don't know about all that.
I like it. I made it.
But I'm
it
a voice on
sounded
the
awesome.
radio.
What's
No, I'll
that?
take it for sure.
Did you say you're not on the radio?
He's
No, I said I'm the voice. I'm a voice on the radio.
Nah.
Yeah.
See, you didn't write it, so you can't get in trouble. And I think
No.
you're the voice of rock radio. So I'm
I
sticking
guess
with
that's what it is then.
I mean,
It is
I
what it is.
wish the rock station here in Austin had your voice, because I more just skip
Oh.
it. Like, they start talking, I'm like, all right, next channel. Okay, I'll go back and see if they're playing music now.
I wish all three
Well,
of us
everybody's
had
for
this
sale,
voice.
so
Yeah,
tell Austin I said hi.
Yeah,
Hey.
I will.
Nah, dude, you live in the greatest city ever, man. Las Vegas rocks.
I love it here, dude.
So
I've been here 15 years, but I grew up in Phoenix, so same desert, you know.
Yeah.
I dig
So
it.
you were used to it.
Yeah, dude. Which is
And
a funny story, a long story, a side story. I just found out that I had a melanoma removed off my back the other day.
you didn't know
Scary.
it was removed?
Well, I did, but I didn't know it was
Oh,
melanoma
I
until
thought you
yesterday.
just woke up
he
and it
was
was removed.
sleeping. He was sleeping, and it was like,
I was like, where's my melanoma?
Well, dude,
Oh,
I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, it's all good. They cut it out, and I just found out yesterday that, yeah, good thing we did that.
Oh,
Always check
Lord,
your
dude.
moles if you live in the desert.
Yes.
Absolutely. And wear your
Yeah.
dang sunscreen, folks.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
I just like this last 6 months, I started like moisturizing every day, because it has SPF in it, but it also I don't want to look old, man. So
Right?
I invested in some good stuff, and I don't know. I've been ID'd 3 times this week, so I'm gonna.
Was it Sunbum, Australian Gold?
No,
Gold?
it's J Blacks. You get it at Nordstrom.
Oh, Nordstrom, that's bougie.
Sounds bougie, man.
It is. It's the blue. It's in like a royal blue bottle. You just need a little, it just
Zach
just
is
a little bit.
Zach is a very bougie person, although he doesn't let
One
on
of
to
those
it.
high-end kind of dudes, man.
Ah,
I mean, he's got a fish tank on his TV in the background.
No,
Yeah, I mean, look at
way.
that's
I
real,
thought
man.
those were real fish. What is that, 4K?
No, dude, that's like
8K.
720.
That's 8K. That's OLED 8K.
Nah, man. Oh Lord. So, how's everything going in Vegas, man? What's the is tourist back?
Yeah, man. I mean, everything's starting to come back. It's whatever last week or whatever, when they were like all of a sudden, hey, no more masks if you're vaccinated, out of nowhere, which was strange across the country. I was like, really? No warning for anybody. Nobody saw that coming. So whatever. I mean, there's been people here, and now that that's happening, and the masks are on the honor system, so of course everyone's vaccinated. Just like those candies at the store, they're on the honor system. Don't take one. You got to leave a quarter, man. But yeah, it's I saw something today on, I don't remember what news station, but it said that June 1st, Vegas is going back to pre-pandemic, whatever. So I think we're just about ready to go back and say screw it and get back to normal, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? I mean, this city's built on other people's money, dude. You can't shut it down for too long, or it's going to go away.
Sure.
Yeah.
I agree. I saw that. I'm sure you've seen on Facebook and whatnot. Caesars just closed like 25 of their smaller shows and showrooms.
Yeah, I don't know why though. I was
Breaks
trying to
my
find out
heart,
why.
man.
Unless it's just bottom line, but if they're trying to save a buck and push the big shows, I don't know.
I hope that's not a sign for where Vegas is going, because that should. I mean, in my opinion, I go to Vegas for the entertainment, and I don't think that gambling and food alone can keep the place alive.
No.
At least as far as I'm concerned, because
Yeah.
I want to do more than just eat and drink.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, there's things to see, and for a while, you were part of the entertainment here in Vegas.
I was.
So you got to see it from both ends, man. I saw your show.
Ah, shucks. I was honored.
Yeah, man.
Which show?
Man,
The Rock of Ages,
okay.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was amazing.
The that was a fun show. I right before the pandemic, I had toured it for a year.
Yeah.
And I miss it every day, man. So for those of you where we met, we actually met at we might have met in passing at like Vamped or something, the greatest rock and roll club of all time.
Right.
But where, in my eyes, where we really like connected and met was at whatever Twisted Sister's last show. It was like the Heavy Metal Awards. It was at the Cannery Ballroom or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the Cannery, East Side Cannery.
And it was in a
was
big ballroom.
Yeah, it was a magazine like
Yes.
Vegas Rocks is what it's called. Vegas Rocks
is.
magazine, right? So, and it's a local magazine. I think it's free. But they had, this chick's got pulled, man. She had, like you said, she had Twisted Sister, and just all these other, dude, I'm walking through this place and I've run into Chuck Billy from Testament, and I'm like, first off, I had no idea that he was 9 feet tall, and that doesn't work very well for me when I'm 3'2". But I was like, "You're Chuck Billy," and I was like, "Oh my God, that's what a 12-year-old would say." He knows he's Chuck Billy. What an idiot! I'm like, "Good to see you, sir," and then I just walked away. I'm like, "What an asshole."
No,
Like,
I think he was
Billy.
probably excited, man. Seriously.
It was rad, dude. He's a big dude too. I had no idea. That's the first time I ever met him.
Oh my God, that was a fun night. But we met. There was an after party up
There
on
was
the top
upstairs
store.
in like a suite or something.
Well, it was.
Dude, I was hammered.
As
We
you
met
should
out
be at a
on a
rock and roll
balcony.
after party.
overlooking Las
In
Vegas.
Vegas.
You know, now
Yeah.
this is starting to sound romantic. There was no romance going on. It's
None.
You
zero,
can admit a little bit.
maybe a little bit. But it was so fun talking with you, and I'm so glad we kept in touch all these years.
No doubt, man.
It's
Yeah, you're
been
a
wonderful.
solid human being for sure.
Ah, bless you.
He's
brother.
okay.
Plus,
They
I like to watch you play guitar, dude. You're a shredder.
Oh, well, thank
I
you.
like shredders.
It's
So.
I get lucky sometimes and hit the right notes, and so we'll.
Yeah, that's
keep-
always one of those things that I wished I would have done and stuck with, and I see, friends of mine play guitar and they're really good at it, and I'm like, yeah, you suck.
Yeah,
'Cause I
hey
wish I
man,
could do it.
it's never
awesome.
too late to start. First
That's
of
true.
all, and second of all, dude, we would love to do what you do, man. Like you have a
Yeah.
rad job, bro.
I'm not mad at it. That's for sure. It's
Exactly.
25 years now I've been doing this job. So
I don't want this to turn into like a standard question answer interview, but I do. Speaking of that, I'm gonna ask you a three-parter. I want to say why radio, and when did you start? So I guess a two-parter, and then I'll bring in the other
Okay.
parts.
why radio? Honestly, when I was a little kid, man, 5 or 6 years old, a little dude, and I loved listening to the radio. And in my dad's car, we'd be driving around, and the DJ would come on, and he'd be like, "Oh, there's AC/DC, this new singer, Brian Johnson, he replaced, Bon Scott, blah, blah." And I'm like, how the fuck does he know all these things? How does he know all these things? I want to know these things. So, that parlayed itself into, me getting my circus magazines and my hit paraders as I was, 10, 11 years old, which I don't even know if they print any of those anymore. But it was always fascinating for me. For whatever reason, man, that it drew me. And I just like, that's what I want to do. Since I was little, and I would even go so far as to, so I'd run a piece of hose, like a garden hose from the radio speaker out the window into my brother's room. And then I'd talk in another one and make him hold it. And I would listen, and I would just mock, the air personality and say what they said and pretend like I was him and make him listen to me doing it. It was
That's
so
awesome.
stupid, man. But
No.
it was always, I don't know why it just fascinated me that you could be driving around, listen to some half-wit tell you some random facts about some band that doesn't really matter, but it's cool. And I'm like, I want to be that guy.
That's
So
awesome.
I became that guy. And
By
it was,
what age?
I'm happy. I was 21 when I got my first gig.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Phoenix, and I listened to the rock station 98 KUPD in Phoenix, which is still there and still killing it, by the way. And I was like, oh, I want to work at KUPD. And there was the morning show, the morning mayor. It was Dave Pratt and Rob Trigg at night. I used to stay up way past my bedtime and call the overnight guy and request Fade to Black from Metallica when I was like a kid. He never fucking played it, but it was funny, man. When I got older and I ended up, applying for a job there as an internship, and they put me on the street team and whatever. And that guy, Rob Trigg, was still there. And I'm like, hey, man, do you remember when I used to call you at night? And he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
You were that
Do
guy.
I remember do you remember a kid? No, I don't remember you, dude.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say yes. I was so excited, like the elephant,
no.
the Rolo.
I was like, yeah, 15 years ago, I remember some brat kid calling me at 2 a.m. But he still worked there, so it was kind of cool because we're still kind of pals, so that's kind of neat. But I ended up working at the radio station that I loved and I wanted to work at, and it was a big dream, and I worked there for 10 years, so it was pretty cool.
I love that. Who was your? Did you have a Mr. Miyagi? Like, did someone take you under your wing, or did you start out as a janitor? Like, how did you work your way up into that?
Started out on the street team.
I did start on the street team. Well, I went to
I don't know what that is.
was the guy that hands out stickers and drives the van and sets up the
Oh.
remotes for the live broadcast for the DJs
Okay.
and that kind of thing.
Well, see, now I know. Thank you, Robin.
All right. So I went to a broadcasting school. It wasn't necessarily a university. It was more of a trade school type of thing, where they taught you things, and then when you actually get a job in radio, they tell you to forget everything that place just fucking taught you and charge you 10 grand for. You know,
Wait a minute.
they taught me the rudimentary basics. But,
Okay, right on.
But they were 10 years behind the times at that school. So
Do
it's like,
you
oh,
have
crap.
to go to a an accredited school that tells you what you can and cannot say on the radio?
No, I did, but you don't have to. You don't even have to have a broadcasting license anymore. They did away with that, like, God, before I got in. You used to have to actually, like, renew your license every year as a broadcaster.
Oh,
And for whatever reason, they just thought that was a stupid idea and stopped doing it. So I never even had one of those.
what is your opinion? Do you think that they should keep doing that? Okay.
No, I mean, you just, use common sense. I mean, you know what you can't say, on a public forum, I guess you would say. I don't know what like I watch Family Guy sometimes at night and they cuss. And I'm like, well, how come I can't do that? It's on TV. I'm just on the radio. But,
Sure.
I'm also not Seth MacFarlane, so he can probably get away with a
Touche.
lot more than Dennis
Well,
Huff from Las Vegas.
He
But-
probably, I imagine he's got lawyers who can fight for him if someone's offended. I
And
don't know.
there's a lot of touchy things. Like I can say I'm pissed off, but I can't say I pissed on someone. I'm pissed, but I didn't take a piss. Those are two completely different things. I can't say the one.
Right.
Huh.
I didn't let you know this in the pre-show. You can say whatever you want on this podcast. So don't worry. You can say piss on or piss off, whichever you prefer.
I remember that band Pissed On too. You remember them?
TJ?
Oh, great flap.
That's I'm stumped on that one. I wish I did.
All right. Look them up. They're cool. Yeah. So
I
so
don't want to
anyway,
Google pissed on.
I'm gonna be like, oh,
This is
that's
the-
not what I expected.
This is
I go 3 different places.
the second podcast tonight that I've been on that's talked about peeing on someone or pissing on
Hey.
someone.
Hey, we're talking about bands, Robin, not peanut
Yeah, you
people.
sicko.
on a scale of 1 to 10, urinate.
Ah!
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
Here,
All
Robin,
right.
can you say something funny real quick? I am sweating. I forgot to turn my AC on before the show. So say something funny.
I'm
do
sweating.
the
I'm
Robin
sweating
thing.
too, but you don't see me complaining.
That wasn't funny.
No, it was just
That was-
facts.
Okay,
You
give
ever
me
pissed on anyone, Robin?
No, I haven't, and I'm not going to. Like, no, I'm good.
I mean, would you even consider it? What if somebody offered you $20?
No.
Like
Maybe if I
just-
really like if I really, really, really hated someone, maybe
All right.
I'd consider it.
fair enough.
But
Wait,
no.
so I left to have you ever pissed on anyone, and then I came back to I'd consider it.
Yep.
Yeah, I changed his mind.
Yeah,
8 seconds.
$20, that's all it took.
yeah.
It's capitalism right there at
Oh.
work. So yeah, anyway, so I long story short, I got in there and I applied and I worked for free, handing out stickers on the street and driving around in the red rockin' van and handing out candy bars, and then they started letting me work the board a little bit and for other shows, and then I got a little weekend show trial or whatever, and it worked out, and that moved into overnights, and then the 7 to midnight show, and I did 7 to midnight there for the rest of my career, and then for a total of 20 years up until about 9 months ago, I got moved to mornings.
Now, your show was just you alone, correct? The
Yes,
7
sir.
to midnight. Okay.
Yeah,
Now, you're currently on BS in the morning,
right.
and that's Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Friday, 6 to 10.
Okay.
a.m.
Now, I am not awake during those times, so please
Yeah, me
forgive
neither.
me. Now, is that a is that just a straight up talk show, or is it all radio?
No, it's your basic whatever morning show. We got music, and then we'll come on and do something stupid or play a game or make fun of somebody or just talk for 8-10 minutes and play a couple more songs, and so just
Gotcha.
more talking really. And there's 3 of us.
Now, do y'all have to come up with all of that material, or is there a producer that writes the show?
No, that's we're all on our own, man. So in between, like when music's playing, we're on our phones and the computer trying to figure out, okay, what's next? We got 7 minutes. What are we gonna do? Oh, we got to give this away. We got to give this away. Also, oh, I did this last night, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Yeah, right on. And then it's all very, very fluid. And I kind of, as I've been learning how to work on a team, which I've never had to do, that's been very helpful because it's just fluid and anything can happen. If we're going to do this in 10 minutes, somebody gets a better idea 4 minutes before that, drop it, do the new one. So it's cool.
Dude, I totally dig that. Do you find yourself being more into the team, or do you miss having your night thing?
Dude, I mean, to be 100% honest with you, dude, if they were like, we'd like you to go back to nights tomorrow, I probably would.
Okay.
Just because that's my comfort zone, and I know that's a cop out because that's what I'm good at, and I've done it for a long time, and I can do it with my eyes closed. So this is the first time in 20 years of my career that I've been challenged. So I think it actually has been very valuable to me.
Absolutely.
I still don't know how to do this job, but apparently it's working. The ratings are doing great, and everybody seems to like the vibe. So
don't change anything, man. Don't change anything.
Yeah.
You're
So
obviously doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a choice, by the way, when they moved me, last August. They got rid of the main morning show host that we had, and I think 99% of the reason for that was just due to money. He was making a lot of money, and I do not make a lot of money. So
but you have a great time, and you get to drink ice.
So yeah, no doubt. So he made a lot of money, and they were looking for money, because radio lost its ass last year, man. I mean, nobody's going to advertise, hey, come to our bar, come to our restaurant if they're fucking closed.
You know what I mean?
Think about that. No one's driving to work or anything too. So like,
no, nobody's driving to work, and there's nowhere to go. So you can't advertise a concert. You can't say, hey, come down to Buffalo Wild Wings. You can't do shit. So everything's shut down. Oh yeah, dude, radio lost billions, man, billions. And so
movies
us,
and
just
stuff
like
too,
everyone
like, not
else.
just radio.
Yeah, movies. So they were scrambling to find money. The corporate comes in and they're like, dude, we are losing our ass and we're spending this. Find me money. Get money off the books. So that's what they did. So they got rid of a handful of people that were making a pretty good chunk of change, and they kept the ones who are making, a fair amount of money, So
Right.
I'm still making night money for doing a morning show, which on one hand sucks, but on the other hand, they saw value in me and wanted to keep me. So that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? That means a lot to me. So
it is it's 6 to 10. So you're waking up at 4 a.m. these days?
yeah, dude.
See,
Well, and here's the thing. On a side note, I was waking up at 4 a.m. because, I live out. The city. I'm out almost to Boulder City.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude. And the radio station's out on Flamingo and Durango, other side of town. So I got a 60-mile drive.
Is that the place I met you at one time when I came out to the station, or has it been multiple places?
Yeah, that was the same one. Yeah.
Okay, right on.
I don't remember the reason for that. Either way, so it's like, not only am I, dude, I've been going to bed at 4 a.m. for 20 years.
Exactly.
Now I've had to, this is a whole adjustment, man. So now I'm getting up at 4 because I got to have time to mill around, and empty myself out, drink some coffee, whatever.
Sure.
And I got to leave by 5 so I can get down there by like 5:35 and get my crap in order.
Okay, so you're not doing it from home.
Well, I am now. See, long story. So August, they moved to mornings. So October, they sent my 2 co-hosts to work from home because they were like, well, we don't want you all together because if somebody gets exposed, all 3 of you are going to have to be quarantined. So they decided to send those 2 home and had me at the radio station, probably because I just had more experience behind the control boards.
Sure.
So that's fine, whatever. So we've been doing that. And then these 2 got vaccinated, and they said at work, everybody who's vaccinated, bring your proof of vaccination. You can come back to work. Well, I do not have a proof of vaccination. So they were like, well, you can work from home then. And I'm like,
Right
really? Okay. So, on one hand, I'm like, okay, it's been safe enough for me to come here for the last 15 months and work, and you can count on me. And now that I can't be around vaccinated co-hosts, I don't understand because they're safe now, right?
Sure.
But whatever. I'm not gonna make that argument. It's not mine to make. I'm just like, yes, sir. So now I sleep till like 4:50.
Okay.
There you go.
I go downstairs, have some coffee, and then I come right back up in this room, and they log me on, and I I do it from here. So whatever. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But.
Is it easier? Did you find it easier like working nights because like your mind's already awake and it's like nighttime, or is it? Have you adjusted?
Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes, dude, it's still weird. Like right now, what is it? So it's almost 8:00 here. Normally, I try to go to bed about 8 or 8:30. I'm not even the slightest bit tired. Last night, I was up till 11:30 just staring at the ceiling because I couldn't go to sleep. And some nights, it's like I'll fall asleep at 6 p.m. It's just I'm still trying to change all my circadian rhythms, I guess. I don't really know how long that's going to take. But, man, it's a struggle sometimes, dude.
I'm sure.
But it's just to be in a habit that long. So
of course, is there anywhere we can listen to the morning show without being up in the morning?
Yeah, get the app, bro.
Well, yeah, you can go to the website comp.com, and there's a link where we basically upload the morning show like a podcast.
Okay, right on.
Every day. I know we haven't for the last couple of weeks because they're switching over servers or some kind of crap, but we upload the podcast, so it's like all the music and commercials and crap are cut out, so it's just the bits that we do.
Okay.
So it's like 45 minutes to an hour, but so all the commercials and music are missing, and it's just when the rejoiner, and then we come on and do our wacky little hey, good morning this morning kind of crap, and fucking whatever.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Let's see. Let me go through.
No. So anyway, I know that took 4 days, but hopefully I answered your question.
No, you absolutely did. But we actually I have a whole page of things I wanted to talk about.
Look at that, dude.
Dude, I'm a preparer. Okay.
See, you are doing what I should be doing.
No, dude. My mind goes 1,000 miles an hour, and if I don't write it down, I'll forget something. So next time I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna start writing shit down, because then I won't forget to say some of the things that I should have said or wanted to say.
Right.
When you're mad at somebody, and you've got all these things in your head you want to say to them, and then you get to them and you just say an eighth of what you wanted to say.
Right.
That's me. So
okay.
I'm just starting to write things down. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. Good idea.
I just have an image of Zach just walking into an argument with his significant other, and he's just like,
"Excuse you, hold on."
Yeah, or just with no notes. She just starts yelling, and he just goes, "You're right," and leaves. It's like, I got no argument here.
No, dude, it'll never happen again, because I'm writing that shit down and be like, "You made me feel this way. I didn't mean."
I didn't
mean
this.
Underlined in red. You need to hear this.
I use purple pen on this one, and then red. See, the colors get brighter the longer you go. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. Man. Okay.
Excuse me.
Robin, take over for 2 seconds while I gather my notes for a second.
All right. I'll ask a generic question. That's always really interesting to talk to radio hosts about. I've asked several in Austin here. What was a moment on the show where you were like, something happened, or maybe you had a guest on the show or something, and you were just like, all right, this is fucking cool.
Man, I'll tell you, one of the first ones that ever happened to me was Vinnie Paul coming on my show when I'm like 21 years old. And I used to do this bit at night. It was called the 9 o'clock foreplay, and I would just play the 4 top requested songs of the day.
I like that.
Horse shit, just whatever. They were very popular songs, and I'm like, I'm sure a lot of people requested this. So he was in town. They were doing something. Pantera was, and somebody from the promotion company, Live Nation. They used to be called Evening Star. At least in Arizona, anyway. They are Live Nation now, but. The lady, Mary Passarella, shows up with Vinnie Paul. Hey, Vinnie wants to be on your show. I'm like, well, bring him in here. And I'm like, hey, dude, we're going to do the 9 o'clock foreplay tonight. It's going to be your 4 favorite Pantera songs, Vinnie. He's like, right on, man. And he just picked 4 songs from Pantera, and fucking we played them. And I was like, son of a bitch. There's no I didn't have any cell phone yet. I mean, this was like, 1998. God. So there's no picture of that.
Do you remember the 4 songs?
I have no idea. No clue, dude. I'm surprised I even remember being in there. I was so fired up, dude, and so nervous and exhausted when he left. Just all my adrenaline was just.
Oh yeah.
I do know he let me pick one though, and I picked The Sleep, and he's like, "Wow, you go deep with us, man, don't you?" And I'm like, "Dude, that's a great song. What are you talking about?"
Did you ever think that that was the first time you met him in person, correct?
I think so.
Okay. I mean, when you at 21, did you ever think you'd end up being actual friends with him later in your life?
No, dude, it's such a trip, man, how life works, right? Because, I was growing up, I was always a metal kid, man, but Anthrax was my band. Anthrax, Joey Belladonna years, that was just my shit. I mean, I learned at a point where you could be a rock head and be a skater kid, and there's a band for you. That's Anthrax. Oh my God, because I was that kid, And I was watching Headbangers Ball one night, and they did the world premiere video for Cemetery Gates. And I'm like, and I watched that video, and I was like, son of a bitch, what am I going to tell Anthrax? Oh, man. They just got fucking one-upped, man. So the next day, I went and bought the Cowboys from Hell cassette. And I was like, no way, man. And that was my shit. That's my band. That's my Led Zeppelin. That's my favorite band of all time, forever. Ask anybody that knows me. It's Pantera. Yeah. And to at one point in, later in life, in your 30s, and it's just like you're just pals with, those guys. It's just very strange because there were a couple of times at the house here in Vegas where, I'd be sleeping one off. I wake up at, 9:00 in the morning and crack my eyes open. There's Vinnie Paul sitting on the couch in his underwear looking at his fucking stock ticker on his phone. And I'm like, that's fucking Vinnie Paul. But it ain't anymore. He stopped in a weird way. I forget that he was Vinnie Paul when we were just hanging around. Sure. Like I would forget that was him. It was it was a weird disconnect, but still I would look at him once in a while, like out to eat or having a drink or whatever. I'm like, it's fucking Vinnie Paul, man. No way. Absolutely. And I'm in my 40s and it's just like, wow, dude, coolest guy I've ever known, man. And it's
Absolutely.
Just to be, they always say don't meet your idols or whatever. But man, him and his brother were my heroes when I was a kid. And I got to know Dime a little, not like pals, but he never knew my name. He'd come through Phoenix on an Ozfest or something. Radio dude! He'd yell it from across the fucking grass and he'd have 2 shots in his hand.
I'll take it. Radio dude. There's much worse it could have been.
He knows who I am. Holy fucking shit. But yeah, so me and Vinny had lots of long talks, man, about just old days and stuff. I'm like, dude, I used to stand in line and try to be the first one to buy your tapes and bought your concert tickets and whatever. And he was like, no, fucking, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. He got a kick out of it that I was a fan of his. So
I love that. Rest his soul, man. I got to hang with him several times, and it was always an absolute pleasure. And I loved watching him interact with fans, like out and about. When we were at Vamped, he would take time to sign autographs and take pictures with people, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, dude, he always made time for people. He knew where his bread and butter came from, man. And he was a music fan too, growing up. So. Yeah. That's why, he had similar stories that I just shared about him and Billy Gibbons. You know what I mean? Like, he just thought Billy Gibbons was the shit, and then he and Billy Gibbons became friends, and he was fucking tickled that Billy Gibbons was his friend.
That's awesome. Like, well, I mean, good old Texas boys, man.
Yeah.
They breed them good.
It's all relative, I guess, man. But, yeah, what a trip, dude, that, like similar story to the Van Halen brothers where they wanted to be Van Halen. I don't know if you knew this, but back in the day, man, before like Vinny and Dime would go up on stage at a show, like they were getting ready to go up and just blow the fucking place up, and they'd fucking high five, they'd pound each other, Van Halen, and then they'd fucking go up on stage.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
That was their little cheers. They'd be like Van Halen, and they'd fucking go burn the place down. Wow. So cool. That's so awesome, man.
Gosh, I don't even want to change the subject because I do have some more questions, but they're going to sound so lame after what we've just been talking about.
It's all good. How can you not talk about Vinny, though? I mean, you and I have, spent time around him. And,
sure.
Guy was one of my best friends. I love talking about that guy. He loved talking about that guy. He loved being Vinnie Paul, man.
Of course. Well, and if we're going to talk about Vinny, we have to give a shout out to our very dear friend, Mr. Christian Brady, whom we
Christian
both
Brady.
all know. Christian was our first
It's
guest
all right.
on this podcast.
I watched that episode, Zach.
Ah, bless you. Thank
no
you.
pun intended,
watched
but
it.
hell yeah.
Ah,
Hell yeah. Yeah, that was a while back. So
It-
But yeah,
but
Christian's a good dude, man.
he really is, man. He was like still is. I don't know why I said was. He's like a brother to me, man. We got real close out in Vegas, and
Yeah.
another just unbelievable musician and huge-hearted guy. You know.
Guy, man. God, he's like a beast, man. You put him on the stage. I saw him play once. I mean, God, it seems like I want to say a couple months ago, but I know it wasn't. It was because last year's erased.
Sure.
But he played. Remember that band, the Moby Dicks, that tour around?
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was jamming with those guys, and I'm like, son of a bitch, dude. Is there anything you can't do, bro?
Dude, he does it all. Dude, I love seeing him with Frankie.
Totally, man. Plus, those guys are like old school brothers, so
Mm-hmm.
like they know each other so well. Just they play off each other very well. Very
Dude,
cool
Frank-
dynamic.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who we're talking about, Frankie Perez out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
That kid's
Nevada.
amazing.
Unbelievable frontman, unbelievable singer, songwriter. Robin, I think you'd especially dig Frankie Perez's stuff.
Okay,
Um,
I'll check it out. I will.
Uh,
I will.
Super
put it-
cool,
I will-
soulful rock dude, man.
I love myself some soulful rock.
absolutely.
Plus, he was the touring singer for Apocalyptica too.
Oh wow. Okay, then
Oh,
I've
if you
heard.
knew
Then
that.
I've heard him
Yeah.
sing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
see, you know him.
Yeah, he's great.
Who would have thought?
If it's the,
You know,
if it's
Robin's
the same
a-
guy, if it's the same guy I'm thinking about, he's fucking great.
Yeah.
He sure is. I love his originals, man. I mean, he does a lot of covers in Vegas, but I love his original stuff.
Oh, totally.
It's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the little interview part because there was some how do I word this? I want to talk about like politics in radio, not the politics you think I'm talking about.
Yeah, because
Like,
this is a
Right.
no
Politics
no
free, bro.
politics show. But yes, the politics in radio. That is a. I've got some friends in radio here, and that can be a bitch to deal with sometimes.
I believe
Where's here,
it-
Robin? I don't
Oh,
remember if you told me
Austin,
where you
Austin, Texas.
were. Okay, so Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
TJ's
All right.
in MSP.
Yeah, on that
Minnesota.
We'll try and get another sponsor.
By the way,
cherry juice. I don't know. I got cherry juice tonight.
It's also
Oh.
a scoreless game right now between the Knights and the Wild, but we'll move on from there.
I'm
Wait
well
a minute.
I'm well
Wait
aware.
a minute. Are you?
Yeah,
Are
he's
y'all
watching it
watching
right
the
now.
same game?
No, I'm not watching it. I have the little score thing on my phone so I can see if anybody.
We couldn't have picked a worse day to do this podcast.
Wait a minute. Are y'all opposing teams?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
So the Knights are playing
The Wild.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesotans.
Round two of the playoffs. Or
Who's-
game two.
who's
of
winning?
one.
It's
0-0.
0-0.
Nobody. It's 0-0.
Okay.
Oh well, Minnesota
it'll-
beat us, so they beat us one
So
game.
it's 1-0 game
so,
game wise right
1-0,
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go Sports.
Yeah.
And that's all.
I'm not
that's
even
happened
really
so
a
far.
sports guy, but I just love the Knights, man. It's fun.
As do I. And TJ, I love you to death, brother. But my heart does go for the Knights
And
because
then
I almost
I
went to Vegas on Sunday.
I
I was
was-
like, screw it.
I
Like,
was-
why not? I'll go hang out with Keith.
was gonna say
you go.
like, okay, I'm gonna see where Zach falls on this whole thing, and then I'll just go with the other team. So TJ, I'm with you.
All right, Robin, way to go, kid.
listen, let me tell you what the Knights did, man. Knights like brought this unity to Las
They did.
Vegas, and like just the whole energy of the town changed when they came in. And
When did they
I
come in?
went to,
2018.
3 years ago,
Okay.
2 or 3.
Yeah. The
And-
thing was they were putting together this team, and during that is when we had that October 1st mass shooting out of the Mandalay Bay.
My friend
Oh, yeah,
was
I in,
my friend was
that
playing.
2017. I was in Norway when that happened.
Oh,
From the airport.
okay. Wow. But yeah, so they were putting this hockey team together, and that happened, and then the hockey team rallied around Las Vegas, and they're like, "We're fucking here for you," and blah blah blah. And they just were like, "We want to be Vegas, and we're here." So it was good timing, and it was pretty special, man. And they seem to mean a lot to everybody in this town.
Mm-hmm.
But
Seriously,
I want to get to a Vegas Raiders game.
Well-
I would like to go see one of those.
has that started yet?
Well, it did
this
last
season.
year, but there
Well,
was
yeah,
I mean, they didn't
allowed.
no fans, so
Okay.
so
Yeah.
it's the Death Star.
It's weird to me
Stadium.
that they're the Vegas Raiders now, because I've always known
It
them as
is
the Oakland
very
Raiders.
strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Me too.
Where were they
Hey,
before?
Well, now I just
Where were they before Oakland?
Oakland.
No, before Oakland.
LA Raiders.
LA.
Yeah, was it the LA Raiders?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now there's a rumor around here that they're trying to bring the Oakland A's here permanently and
That's
get
what I
an
heard,
MLB
too.
team. Las Vegas A's.
The
What a
Las,
trip,
the Las
dude.
Vegas
A's, just like
Athletics.
A''S.
Yeah.
It stands for athletics.
Yeah.
The
And their elephant is the logo
yeah.
in theory. An A and an elephant.
Nice.
Well,
Well, we got
interesting.
the farm team, which is their farm team for the A's, the Aviators. So
So many
we'll
A's.
see. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of A's, man.
Huh.
Hey,
That's great.
We're basically an A hole.
Oh,
Oh.
there it is. I was waiting for ass or something to
Yeah.
get brought
Oh,
into there.
I'll see myself out.
Thank you. But
I'm
but
just
yes,
glad to be hearing someone else making the puns tonight.
Yeah, I had dad jokes all days, man.
Good.
Good.
Ye-
Coach
Good.
just said good. Well, gosh, this question almost seems irrelevant now, but I know the answer to it. But for
Yeah.
the people that are listening that don't know the answer, I want them to know about it. So
I'll answer
it's
best I can.
basically what's that?
I'll answer the best I can.
I mean, I'll just be straight up, And yes, I know the answer, but I'm still
Right.
going to ask it for the people who want to know. Are there politics
course.
in radio?
Of
Is
course,
is artist A getting played more than artist B because money's getting funneled under the table over here, like that kind of shit?
Absolutely.
Now,
Absolutely.
a long time ago, there was a law that was passed, and it had a
There's still a law.
ridiculous name. What's that?
The payola.
Is it called payola?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
called, if
payola.
I pay you, $100 and pay your rent this month, if you spin my new band, that's payola. That's illegal.
Yet it still
And
happens.
that used to happen. It does. It's a little more inconspicuous than it used to be. I mean, once upon a time, the guy pushing the new Fog Hat record would show up with the record at the radio station, and he would cover the record in cocaine and say, "Let's rock and roll." You know what I mean? And he'd
Mhm.
throw a stack of cash down. He'd be like, "All right, what do you think about, Free Bird, man? You gonna get this on or what?" It was that blatant and that.
Do they all
out
talk
there. They
like
didn't
that?
give a Shit. Pretty much, man. They ain't all Southern rock, man. They April Wine, they from Canada, but they still talk like that.
That's all.
So I also figured out a way to bring in April Wine into this conversation.
April
So-
Wine, great band.
I don't know why I did that. So yeah, it used to be very blatant and nobody cared. I mean, early days when I was starting to get like some air shifts here and there, I used to host a heavy metal specialty show on Sunday nights, and there was a guy that will go unnamed, but offered to pay my rent and offered to give me money if I would play a particular album by a rap rock group who likes the Nookie. I'll leave it at that. And it wasn't that song, but I was like, dude, no, I'm not gonna play that. I play Slayer, I play Sepultura, I play Gorguts, I play heavy metal.
Sure.
It's an extreme metal show, And he's like, well, what do you got any bills that you can't pick up? I'm like, look, dude, I can't even talk to you anymore, dude.
Sure.
I gotta go. And I just hung up the phone. I'm like, dude, I'm like, am I being trapped or tested?
Sure.
Or is this legit? But I don't want to be a part of it either way, dude. And I'm
And-
also not going to take money to fucking play Limp Bizkit. Fuck off.
No. Oh, there you go. We named
Oops.
names.
Sorry.
Now at this time,
So you
I don't know-
didn't do it all for the Nookie.
I did
Oh.
nothing of the
Thank-
sort.
Thank you, Robin. I don't know what a nookie is.
Neither do I.
I know it's a song, but I'm thinking of like a cookie stuffed with
wears
an
a
ice
red
cream
hat.
right now. What's that?
It wears a red baseball cap.
Oh,
The
okay.
Nookie.
So
Yeah.
not a noogie, a nookie.
No.
But
We
now,
know a noogie.
What if you needed Noogie Ty? Miss him. He was awesome. Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
At this
So
time,
sorry.
I'm
Anyway,
guessing
yes.
this is early 2000s at this point.
This was probably 1998, 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So wait for that.
let's say it was. Is it the FCC? Who controls the radio?
Yeah, FCC.
Okay. let's say it was a trap from the FCC and you had given into it. Is it jail time? Is it lose your license? What is the punishment?
If I'm not mistaken, that's a felony.
Wow.
If I'm
So
not,
that's
I'm
serious
not
shit.
100%. But yeah, that's no joke, man. That's federal crime.
We have
Okay.
Google. I will find out.
Now, how do these, for example, in Austin, there is a segment on the weekends called the Homegrown Show, and they play music from only Austin bands.
Right. We have
during
that
the-
here, actually.
I'm sorry.
We have one of those.
Oh,
At
well
our
then it's
station,
Vegas.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was Vegas.
Oh.
It was called the Homegrown. And how do
Yeah.
they get away with that? Because the show is all about just doing local stuff, or because there's no money involved?
Well, there's no money involved. And there's no record labels, there's no promoters, there's no anything. These are all self-produced. I mean, local bands
Okay.
who pay whatever it costs to go to some local studio, hide out or whatever, and record their album and hopefully get radio play. But there's no money involved, and there's no artist
Okay.
representation, and there's no managers, and there's no record labels.
So what makes payola
That
illegal is when money's involved.
Right, but if they were to say, hey, I'll give you $50 to play my song this weekend, that's against the law.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Or
okay. Well, that's
or an 8-ball, or pay your rent or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can't do
a
that.
form of compensation.
Yeah, but I think it still happens, man. It's just a little more under the table, and I think it's a little more like, hey, you want to go out for an $800 sushi dinner? Bring your wife and whoever.
Sure.
I think it happens more like that now. But
Hey, man. I mean, have you been to Daisho Sushi over on Eastern? It's phenomenal.
Okay.
I'll take you there next time I'm in Vegas.
Okay.
What's up, Robin?
So the penalty for violations can be high. It can be a $10,000 fine and up to 1 year imprisonment for each offense.
okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
I will not be taking you for sushi, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll
would do
go
that.
like unsolicited. Like, I mean, there's nothing I'm gonna.
I mean, we
No, I'll still take
we
the
should still
sushi.
just go to sushi. Like,
Was it?
Yeah, we should go.
you've now said sushi, and I'm hungry.
Yeah. Is it Yellowtail at Bellagio?
That's too fancy, man. Come on,
God,
dude.
no.
Oh.
We're drinking Bud
Dude, I
Ice
can't-
over here,
No,
man.
no.
Dude,
no.
that's
can't even
Waterloo.
afford to
You're not even
park there,
drinking.
bro. I
You're
don't
not
know
even
what you're
drinking
talking
beer.
It wasn't even
I
that.
know,
It
I'm
was like
drinking water.
$100 a person. It was fine.
Hey, you know what? I heard that they some of the hotels are back to free parking. Did you hear that?
They
Well,
were, and then I heard that they're all going back to paid parking.
All right.
Dude, we don't have to go off on a huge rant, but I'm going to go on a quick rant. I think Vegas screwed up. I don't know why I'm pointing, but I'm going to point. I think Vegas screwed up when they started charging locals for parking because
100%, dude. I don't go
we
there
all
anymore.
stopped going to the Strip.
Yeah, all of us.
I only went to the Strip if I was working, and I
Same.
somehow found a way to find free parking, by either getting an employee badge or something. But if I have to pay $15 to park, I'm probably not going to go hang out on the Strip.
Well, here's the thing: it's instead of paying $15 or $20 to park on the Strip, I'd rather go park at the Tuscany for free and take a $9 Uber, and know that money's going in this dude's pocket anyway,
Yeah.
and
Amen.
not some billionaire.
Touche.
I
Touche.
like Tuscany's
So-
great. Great.
Well, you know where there is free
I love
parking? At Ellis Island. And you know what else is there?
Yeah.
$2.25. Actually, I think they raised it to $2.50. Sorry. $2.50 house-made brewed beer, and it's awesome. There you go.
So when are we going to Vegas?
Steaks.
Whenever,
Well,
whenever. Like, let's
June
go right now.
1st.
I'll go right now.
June 1st, I think they're opening back up.
All right.
Well, I understand that Rock Detention is going to give away a free trip for two.
Hopefully for
oh,
me,
did I
it's
read
Zach.
that wrong?
Robin, are you buying that?
Yeah.
Funded by Dennis Huff. Anyway.
Call in now.
Well, there's no number to call, so that's not happening. Okay.
Wait, why
a
is
few
my
more
phone?
questions.
Why
before
is
I
my
go.
phone ringing? Okay.
Okay. Another two-parter.
Of course.
These just seems so lame after these awesome tangents we're going on, but I want
That's
to
the
know.
beauty of the podcast.
I have a scatterbrain,
ADD.
Zach. I apologize.
Yeah,
You're
that's right.
No,
No,
trust
don't.
me.
You're-
This
this
whole
is-
podcast is scatterbrained, and that's what we love about it.
So this is a four-parter. So I'm going to start with
Oh, now
where
it's
do you
four.
see?
You just doubled up, bro. It was a two-parter. Now it's a four-parter.
I said what I said, because I'm gonna mix these together. So the blanket statement is, where do you see the music business going? Do you agree with, and this is not coming from my mouth. I hear a lot of people say this, but I want to know your opinion on it. Do you agree with the blanket statement of rock is dead? I hear a lot of people saying that. And you know what? I'm going to stop it right there. I'll just keep it a two-parter.
Okay. Well, the first part, where I see music going, I think I see it going all digital and singles, man. I think records are going to stop happening. I think whole records, albums are going to stop happening altogether because there's no money in that anymore. The cost to make it and what you're getting out of it is shit. So you want to put out 2 cool songs and release those and sell them as singles, you're going to make money. You're going to sell this whole package of, 12, 13 songs digitally or physically, but with, liner notes and whatever. They don't want that. They want to buy the one song they know. Sure. It sucks. I mean, I got turned on to a lot of absolutely phenomenal songs and bands by buying whole albums, but I don't think that's a viable business model anymore for bands, especially up and comers.
See,
I totally agree. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna disagree to a point. I definitely think up and comers, like for me, like right now, I've done one EP of 4 songs. I've released one single, and I'm now doing another EP of 5 songs. And so, for me, that right now as an up and comer, that makes sense. I use your money wisely and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But when you get into, like, I grew up as a Warped Tour kid, and all those bands on that tour, and man, to this day, I still buy those albums, and those fans are still ravenous for full albums. Like, they want to know everything by those bands, and but I could flip that entire conversation. It was like, well, it's that genre and that community of fans. But if you get into the people of like that are fans of like Katy Perry and Justin Bieber, it's like they don't give a shit about the rest of the album. Like, they don't care. They want to hear the singles, and that's all they want to hear. And so I would like, that's why I think I half agree with that statement of like, if you're in pop and mainstream radio, it's absolutely a singles market. It's been a singles market for the last like 3 years. But there is that those genres or those communities of, so this is where I say that rock is not dead, because I see it as the rock. It's the rock bands that are still making full albums, and the fans are ravenous and wanting to know every lyric to every song. They want to know those facts, those random facts that are in the liner notes. But yeah, they're not as big as they were, which is unfortunate. And
I'll touch on that too. And as a part 2 of that question, is rock dead? I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's ever going to die. I think and I'm only going to use him because he seems to be the main offender, but Gene Simmons is the one that keeps saying, rock is dead. Rock's not dead, dude, just because people stop going to Kiss concerts, bro.
I went and saw Kiss last year. It was amazing.
I don't even mean that as an insult, but dude, it's just because people aren't writing, dude, you're from a different era, bro. And most of those guys and most of his contemporaries are fucking dead.
Yeah.
Or close to it, or retired. So rock's not dead, dude. All the guys that you toured with stopped, but it's not dead. That chapter's over. Of course it is.
See, I didn't know that Gene Simmons was the one who started that statement.
Yeah, he has been.
I don't know if he started it, but he's definitely said it.
Yeah. On that note, too, I'm with both you guys, or all you guys. Like, rock, I don't think will ever die. And
nor do I.
You gotta know where to look too, because like how many European bands and stuff, guys, like they have it figured out right now. Like there's some kick-ass songs, music over in Europe, and like I think, honestly, it sounds bad, but I think Nickelback or Buckcherry was probably like the last people to climb the charts in rock.
I love fucking Buckcherry. I love Buckcherry.
And I would say that I think one of the biggest,
only because it's sitting right behind me. But look at this, dude. That's one of my favorite fucking albums of all time.
Oh, so good.
Very cool.
I got to see them live at NAMM. It was pretty good.
I've never been to NAMM, dude. I never went.
It's
you got to go at least once.
we'll all
Vinny
go.
invited me once with a bunch of fellas, but I couldn't go, and I was like, it doesn't really sound like something fun. So I'm gonna go with you.
To experience it one time is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's a music manufacturer's showcase.
It's like Comic-Con for music heads, right?
Right.
Is that what it is?
Dude,
in essence.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna. I'm putting everyone on the spot.
We're going
on air. All right.
I'm there.
We're going to Winter NAMM in Anaheim.
Yeah.
2022.
Done. I'm there.
And you're coming, Dennis.
I will say
it's only a 5-hour drive.
We go to Disneyland.
I have a weird thing about never going to California, but I might make an exception.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Well,
come roll with us.
We'll have Daniel there.
Daniel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Daniel Knight, Dennis?
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
Amazing musician, bass player, guitar player.
Drummer.
He was on the podcast a few episodes ago. Drummer.
All right.
Wait a minute. He talked about Prince on the show, right?
Yeah,
or was
he
that
did.
all?
Yeah,
He talked about Prince.
Okay. He dated Prince.
He dated a girl that Prince also dated as well.
Okay. I didn't know if that was if we talked about that.
Yeah, he dated a girl that Prince also knew as well, and that actually got Prince to be pissed at him. And so Daniel had like a broken foot or something at one point, and Prince came over and like stepped on it, and Daniel pushed him over with his crutch.
So that's his Prince
That's like,
story.
well,
and Daniel's like 6'5".
Yeah, he's a big, huge black dude. Like
5'2".
Yeah.
So.
And but yeah, he's a
Super
sweetheart
cool guy.
of a man. But yeah, he's been talking to us about going to NAMM. So you join us and go with, because he's been going to, he lives in LA, so he's been going to NAMM for years.
Okay.
And
keep me in the loop.
yeah,
I sure will, man. That would be a lot of fun.
We'll do Rock Detention live from NAMM.
Hell yeah,
There you
and
go.
we're gonna try to
On
sneak in a
location.
cooler of Bud Ices into NAMM.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm sold now.
So to kind of segue, from what we were just talking about. There was something that I had in my head a while ago that I want to ask you, as a radio person. So this is a two-parter. What's kind of your suggestion for new bands that are trying to break into that radio play world? Because here in Austin, I mean, it's a bitch. Like, you may find one radio host who likes you and will spin your song for a few things, but to actually get into rotation in the state, what's a suggestion that you have? And then B, and I'll just be blunt on the question: is it worth it to go after radio play? If you're in this day and age, as much as I still listen to radio all the time, because there's those few stations here in Austin that still play really great stuff. But yeah, so
Well, here's the thing, man. They'll do study after study, and it'll always come back that 90% of human beings listen to the radio at one point during the day.
Yeah.
Even if it's by accident, even if you didn't turn it on, you listen to my radio, you heard the radio.
Yeah.
And it's free. It's always going to be free. It's always been free, and it's always going to be. So that, as far as a band, what should they do to try to attract a radio to want to play them? Well, I mean, clearly the songwriting and the songs got to be good, but dude, quality of recording is something that I think people seem to have forgotten about, man.
Amen.
Dude, you and your girlfriends, man, in front row in your show, just because they love your song doesn't mean it sounds good, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta. That's where you start to invest in yourself and your product and your name and your brand. You got to spend money, dude, and you got to make it sound quality-wise as good as that goddamn Nickelback song that you heard 18 times yesterday.
Yeah.
It's got to sound that good. Not necessarily the song, but the quality, man. It's got to sound good. And if it sounds like some cheap MP3 that you've recorded on a 4-track, it's not going to go, dude. It's just not. It sounds like shit quality-wise, and nobody's going to want to hear it after it's on for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And as far as is radio viable, and should they go after that? I mean, yes, because it's free. It's so you really lose nothing if you keep trying to get your song on the radio and it finally happens, it's on.
Yeah.
And if people like it, it's dude, how many fucking times have you heard Smells Like Teen Spirit on the radio this year? You know what I'm saying? If people like it, it's always going to be there.
Yeah,
sure.
And, we pay for that. We pay a yearly fee to BMI and ASCAP and all this shit, millions of dollars, which, goes into publishing and all that shit for, Courtney Love or whoever the hell's getting the money now. And, I mean, we pay a lot of money to these publishing. So that's the other thing. Write the songs, dude. Get your name on the publishing.
Yeah.
That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about the recording, man?
Make sure you have
you
your
played on it?
paperwork in
Big
order.
deal. I wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your paperwork
That's
in order,
why
kids.
That's one thing that I thought was cool when I used to read the inlays on all these cassettes and CDs, man, and I'd see all these people that the band members thanked. I was very curious to see who's this Garth guy, and all these producers. I didn't know who the hell they were. I was 12, Come to find out later, that's a big name producer. He called himself Garth because he had a stutter. I didn't know that though. You know what I mean?
That's a way to. That's a way to
brand.
Yeah, brand yourself.
No shit.
So,
but Terry Date and all these producers. So I would be like, dude, hire these guys, man. Hire these guys. All of these band members have their own production company, and they're all listed. I'd like to thank, Jimmy Joe Bob Records, and I'd like to thank Cheesecake Records, and I'd like to thank I Dropped My Sandwich, recordings. And
are you hungry?
A little bit.
You're mentioning all food.
Was that all food?
It was. That's okay.
This is published by Bud Ice in a Can Publishing.
Bud Ice. There you go.
Dude, okay, so is that
that's
anything
where
to
the
do
money
with
is,
Bud
dude.
Light?
Yeah, it's Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, it's Anheuser-Busch.
Okay. Right on. So
anyway,
that
I answered.
You absolutely did. So I was going to say, I don't think this is a question. Do you think radio is dying because of things like streaming and podcasts? Or do you think it will always have a place? But as you said, 90% of people still listen to it. It sounds like that's your answer is yes.
Well, I will be perfectly honest with you. And again, I have no research in my hand to back this up. This is my opinion. I think, once upon a time, you wanted to hear music, you turn on the radio.
Sure.
That was it. That was your choice.
Yeah.
Unless you, bought physical copies of music. I'm talking about before MTV and all that bullshit. So the MTV showed up. But here's the thing. They said MTV was going to kill radio. They said cable TV was going to kill radio. They said satellite was going to kill radio. CDs, everything was going to kill radio. Nothing's going to kill radio because it's free. But the thing is everybody's got, they're listening to podcasts now. They got their iPods. They're listening to their Google Music on their phone or their iTunes. So there's a million other choices now besides radio. So radio had the whole share. And now they're sharing that with 50 other options.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's never going to die, but it's not, did you hear that song on the radio? That doesn't get thrown around at school much anymore. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean,
but again, it's always free and it's always going to be in your car.
Absolutely. I use the radio to discover new music, to see what's hip, what people are listening to, and I'll go to like the top 40 because living in Nashville and trying to get into the music business part of things is, I need to know who the big country acts are right now. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
So I use radio for that. But believe you me, I still got my 80s metal station on Pandora and
right.
It's I don't know. You don't hear much 80s on the radio anymore.
I'll be curious to see. No. I'll be curious to see what happens coming up because Apple just announced that they're going to start streaming in high quality.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see kind of where that takes it. I don't expect much to change from it because to me the like for us we'll be able to notice a difference because we've listened to all of that. But like, the lay person is not gonna. I don't really think they're gonna really hear a difference unless you're listening to something that's like.
Most people won't.
Yeah, if you're listening to Justin Bieber or whatever, like you're not gonna hear a difference. But if you're listening to something like, fucking like Metallica.
Rush.
Or something. Yeah, like Rush or something, or like a new Metallica album, which I don't know if they've released anything recently, but those albums. I mean, like they take the time to really like mix and master those albums, and so when you take that and you put it down into an MP3, you can hear the shitty quality. But
of course.
But then when you up that to high quality, I wonder if I don't know. I'm curious about that because I thought that was a really interesting thing for Apple to just randomly kind of announce.
Well,
now.
Yeah, the thing is they're going to put that, they're going to put it all out on high quality, and people are going to listen to it on their shitty phone through a little tiny fucking speaker at the bottom of their phone. They're not even going to know.
Yeah.
So it seems like a waste of time and a waste of space.
It's a marketing scheme.
Although
man.
I will say,
of course,
the speaker on this phone is pretty stupid, ridiculous.
Well, they're leaps and bounds from years prior. I mean, I don't even know what the hell I have. It's a Samsung fucking something or other, whatever that new one is, but it sounds great. I put it on the table outside, and I have a beer, and I was just before we started the show when you texted me, Zach. I was out there watering my goddamn bell peppers because that's how cool I am.
Hey man, wait, did you have a Bud Ice in one hand and your hose in the other?
Hell yeah.
Just making sure.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Well, I want to end it on this.
Are you throwing me out? Okay.
Oh, no. Is there anything?
I'm just messing with you, man.
Well, no. If you got a story or
Listen, Mr. Huff, we've had enough of you. I just wanted to throw that out there, sir. No, it's all good, man.
I just know that you have
every day on the radio station in the morning show. Okay, Mr. Huff.
Yeah, I do have to get up.
Exactly, and I don't want to keep you up too late. But I did read somewhere in your bio that 3 of your favorite things are wings, beer, and off-roading.
True story.
It is true. So I already know your favorite beer. What's your favorite wing? And when you talk about off-roading, are we talking about Jeeps, 4-wheelers? What's going on here?
Are we talking boneless or bone-in?
Exactly.
Well, I do like. First off, I like the bone-ins. Boneless wings are not wings; those are McNuggets.
Chicken nuggets, yeah. They're less messy.
Off-roading, I was probably at that point talking about. I was a big 4-wheeler enthusiast. Quad, ATV, whatever you want to call it.
Nice.
Right on.
Which I recently sold because, well, I had to take a pay cut, and that sucks. But that's another sad story for another day. I can always buy another quad, right, Zach?
Amen. You will have another quad.
Wings, dude. You know what's funny, man? I was just talking to somebody about that. Maybe I don't know this week about they got wing stops out there.
Yeah, we have wing stops in Austin.
So Wingstop, they got the fucking mango habanero sauce, dude. I'm so addicted, but the thing is I haven't been eating that. Dude, I've been on a diet. I don't know if I told you, but I've lost 30 pounds since like March.
Damn.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So you're due for some mango habanero. You earned it.
I got tired of being chubby.
Dude,
and I was like,
great.
I got really, really comfortable and really lazy over the last year. And I'm like, you know what, dude? I was 240, and I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah. Yesterday I was 210. I'm like, come on, we're going.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I've been laying off all the crazy, wing sauces and stuff. I'm eating a bare naked grilled chicken breast and stupid
yum.
shit. Yeah,
I'm
very, very
chicken
boring.
and broccoli.
I'm house sitting for my my aunt right now, and she gets like this. She's a super health nut thing, and so she gets these like deliveries. And she asked me, she was like, "Do you want me to stop those, or do you think that you'll want to cook?" And I was like, "Well, what's in the delivery thing?" And she's like, "Well, it's like fresh grown, locally sourced vegetables and like all this stuff." And I'm like, I know I need to eat that stuff, so yeah, get the delivery. I got the delivery, and it's like these 3 containers of fresh potatoes and fresh zucchini and all this stuff, and I'm going,
yeah,
okay, now I got to learn to cook. All right.
So it's not cooked. It's just raw veggies.
It's just raw vegetables.
Yeah.
So it's like fresh grown carrots and zucchinis and tomatoes and it's pretty. Dude, it actually is pretty cool. It is. I was like, okay, I'll do this.
Great. And I got some advice on the potatoes. Cut them into long strips and deep fry them, and then pour salt on them.
You mean French fries?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what.
No, I'm gonna make it. Dude, I'm going home tonight. I'm gonna make mashed potatoes.
I'll tell you, the only way to make those better, if you're gonna be frying them anyway, is fry them in butter flavored Crisco.
I just gained weight.
You're gonna go in.
Like my cholesterol and my weight just went up listening to that.
My grandma used to have a bucket of Crisco, like when she was a baker, and it just always grossed me out, just like big scoops of lard.
Yeah.
I don't know, not my favorite, but it tasted delicious.
Hey, man.
And my uncle,
not delicious,
first,
delicious.
First son, who's my uncle, he's she's no longer with us, and so he kind of took over the cookie making in the family, if you will. And I was like, what is the secret? And he's like, butter flavored Crisco. So yes, you are on to something.
USA.
America.
I've never seen Crisco actually get used. Like I know what it's all about.
No?
Oh, I remember using Crisco to grease up the frying pan when we would make breakfast in the morning at my grandmother's house.
Like my entire life, I felt like it was always I heard about Crisco, but never like saw it in action. And maybe it was behind the scenes.
Wow.
It was just like,
Dude, I used to
been
have
eating
this thing. It
Crisco
was
my
a
whole
deep
life.
fryer.
But...
It was called a Fry Daddy. You remember those?
I
It
don't.
was just like a little deep fryer with a basket, but you're
no.
supposed to put oil or whatever. I would just throw a whole fucking thing of butter flavored Crisco in there, and let it like
Wow.
loosen up and turn into a liquid. Fry whatever you want in there, sons of bitches.
Sounds
Bananas, fries, bologna, don't matter.
Have you ever
absolutely.
had a deep fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Hell yes.
Oh my god.
Where? The Dallas State Fair?
No, my girlfriend
kitchen.
made me this thing. She made me a peanut butter and jelly fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I'm just like, I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, no, this is not gonna be. Oh my god, this is delicious.
Absolutely.
Where have you been all my
I
life?
I haven't had it in a while, but I used to get so this Minnesota State Fair had like deep fried candy bars, so like Milky Way, Snickers, Oreo.
Yeah.
You take
I do those myself, dude.
The last
My
time
backyard.
I had, so besides the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the last time I had something that was like deep fried, it was the Texas State Fair when we were playing, and I blacked out on stage. I don't remember the show at all. Like,
Wow.
it was.
Dude, maybe you had a stroke or something.
I think
like,
you might have.
It had to do with the heat. I mean, we were on a stage where it was not covered, and I don't know how Chris did not. So Zach and I used to play in a group together called Drum Jam, and Chris was kind of the lead guy. He was like not the front man, but like he was the one who was in the center, but he was constantly moving around, and I don't know how this guy did not pass out. But he also probably drank a shit ton of water, and I did not. And I had like a deep fried milk ball before getting on stage, and I don't remember the show. I guess I did fine playing because no one was like, wow, you sucked.
We still hired you for another gig, so it worked out.
Yeah.
Man.
See? It's all part of your act.
But yeah. Deep fried peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Like, sorry guys, this guy just had a deep fried peanut butter and jelly, so he's not gonna
I had
make
a
it the
deep
rest of
fried
the show.
stroke. Heat
Well,
stroke.
just let him twitch, man, with the carnage to move him later.
Gar.
Hopefully he twitches on beat.
What's the score?
1-1.
1-1 right now, buddy.
How
We
much more?
Second period.
Second
There's
period.
still quite a bit of game left.
Yeah.
Okay.
What quarter?
We scored first, and
Halfway.
about 30 seconds later, Vegas tied it up.
What quarter are we
Let's see,
in?
man.
Period.
Periods.
Two.
Yeah, sorry.
Go
there's still
sports.
5
Yeah,
minutes
go
left.
sports.
Let's see
I said quarter, and I'm going, that's not right because there's only 3 periods. And then you said period. I was like, that's right,
Right.
it's period.
And each team scored a basket.
Yep.
So far, man. Sport ball.
Yeah, we're about to score a touchdown.
I'm just being funny. Alrighty. Robin, TJ, did y'all have anything else you wanted to add, ask, or say?
Can I get my song played on your radio? Kidding. I can't even finish the sentence with a straight face.
Wow,
Hey,
Robin.
that should be
Well,
off
I'm
the record,
gonna
bro.
tell you where to send me an envelope full of blow and cash.
Hey, what kind of rent you need paid this month for our single?
Yeah. I mean,
Just curious.
yeah. I mean,
Just
this has nothing.
hypothetically.
Like my new single being in the same envelope has nothing to do with it. So
All fair questions, and I will just tell you that everyone is for sale.
the whole music
Hey, I
industry
will
is
say
smoke
this.
and mirrors, and if you believe that it's not bought,
Of
I'll
course.
still.
I'll say this. I didn't mention this earlier, but vinyl is making a huge comeback. Talk about
Yeah,
rock
what's that
content.
all about?
That's
And
because
it's
I don't know.
expensive. I was at
It
the
is.
Barnes
What the
Noble the other
hell?
day. It's like $35.99 for a dang dear vinyl.
how much do you think it costs to
I
make
got
the
my
thing?
white lion back there.
Yeah.
My white lion.
If I could take my I have the camera that I do have that I am using. If you
look at
guys
that.
were seeing that, I'd just turn it over. I have a massive vinyl collection. I love vinyl.
Dude, I don't know. I used to
sounding
get
stuff.
CDs for like $2.99 over at Cheapos.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I see the Sinatra vinyl behind you too.
Yeah.
Is that Sinatra?
And Guns N' Roses. And Whitesnake.
It's a funny. Funny thing. I was watching Don Rickles roast Frank Sinatra earlier on YouTube.
Man, so great.
That's pretty random.
Just legendary.
I gotta read for this records. We're showing off records. I gotta show you this one. My daughter bought me for Father's Day.
Oh.
Is that the? Hey, Robin, why don't you ask him if that's?
Shut up.
Is that the 1985 one? Robin? Is that 1985?
Shut your mouth. Just shut up.
What happened?
We were on the Eddie Van Halen episode that we did the day that he passed. We were supposed to have Christian Brady, and Christian was like, "I'm sorry, guys, I just can't do the episode tonight." We totally understood. We were like, "You know what? We need to do a Van Halen episode anyways. This is we got to honor him." And my dumb ass, forgot when I listed off the albums, I forgot Women and Children first, and then referred to 1984 as 1985. Just like two major faux pas, and so they've never let me live it down.
Absolutely. So, that 1985 album is great.
That was great.
Go fuck
Not many people know about it.
Yeah, was that Hot for Twitter?
Oh, there's my Incubus CD. I was wondering where the fuck that was.
Oh.
No, my daughter was up in Flagstaff and she saw this in a secondhand store, and she knew that I had I wore that T-shirt, and she bought it for me for like $12.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
And I was like, "Wow, dude, cool kid, man. Nice, dude."
The hell?
Yeah, this was all beat
Zach,
to
where's
hell.
yours?
But...
Oh yeah, I bought this one secondhand at like a half-price Books for $5.98.
So speaking of metal, and you have Appetite for Destruction behind you, TJ. I was at Barnes & Noble the other day, and there was a brand new sealed Appetite for Destruction for $4.99, and it kind of broke my heart.
Okay, so be wary of new pressed vinyl. Do your research on where it's pressed, because
it was a CD.
Oh, it wasn't vinyl. Oh, okay.
If it was vinyl, I would have bought it for $4.99.
Are you kidding me?
No
I
doubt.
just said, hey, pick up 8.
But do your research when you're buying vinyl, because in this day and age, because if it's a new pressed record, some of the vinyl plants they don't do it right. They're not pressing things correctly, and it does not sound good. There's a vinyl pressing plant here in Austin called Gold Rush Vinyl, and they do it right. If you get anything from Jack White's vinyl plant, he does things right. But yeah, I've gotten some new vinyls from some of my favorite bands, and it just sounds not that good. They're just
horrible.
And I've noticed too that it's those like a lot of times when you get at one of the new vinyls and they're not black, they're like they're like white and blue, or they're colored. Those don't sound that good to me. They don't sound the same as like the traditional black vinyl.
That's funny. Yeah. I'm probably like super old guy here, but
that's TJ. TJ's actually 53. Yeah. He looks great for his age.
I age well.
Yeah. Are you being serious?
No. I think all three of us are 31.
I'm the oldest in the group.
Yeah. So 1987. I was 12, and I ran home to watch the world premiere of Welcome to the Jungle on MTV in the middle of the afternoon.
Wow.
12 years old. It's 1987. I remember that because July of that year, I saw my very first concert ever, and that was Motley Crue, Girls, Girls, Girls.
Yes. I wish I could have gone.
Whitesnake opened up for them, and it was Tommy Lee's fucking birthday, and there was chicks and boobs and motorcycles and fire and Motley Crue, and I was fucking just, oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching this. Changed my life. That day changed my life.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That would change my life.
Dude, that was a hell of a tour,
Axl
man.
Rose and his teased hair. That's like the only time he ever teased his hair, and then after that he's like, just bandana and backwards hats. Let's go.
I'm curious about this. I'm curious about this new Tommy and Pamela movie coming out that they're doing right now.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's starring Sebastian Stan and
like, what are they gonna do? Just like recreate the porno?
No, I think they're gonna tell their romance story or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah, the minute I saw that baby's arm between his legs, I was done with both of those guys anyway. They look like a summer sausage, man. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Hopefully we'll have Tommy Lee on to talk about that more in the future.
No doubt. Let's get him on.
Oh, I would. I don't know if I'd be able to talk. He is, as a drummer, he is one of my idols. Like that guy.
I mean, dude, he's gonna have his clothes on, Robin. Gosh.
No, not that.
Settle down.
Robin, his face is up here.
He is he's probably, I would have to say, I would be satisfied in saying he's one of the best drummers there's ever probably lived.
Absolutely.
That dude is amazing. He's an artist with the fills. He's got a fucking flow. He's got the swagger. He don't fucking miss. The dude's amazing.
Well, and I would wholeheartedly say that, like, I don't think there's drummers who could play circles rudiment wise around him, but his pocket, his groove, his fills, just like he's
dude,
one of
it's all heart, man.
Yeah, he doesn't waste a fill, and there's like
ever.
I would say that he's the in the drums, he's kind of like he's like the Mike Campbell of drums. Like Mike Campbell, who was the guitar player for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, that guy never wasted a note on his guitar. Everything that he played is tasteful and it's right there, it's in the pocket, and that's Tommy Lee on the drums. Like,
agreed, man. Yeah, the dude, he's always blown me away. All the way from, Too Fast for Love with the little, and he just does all this weird stuff, and all the way to like Primal Scream, where it's very basic and very driven, but it's fucking clean, dude. It's good, and it's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And that band couldn't have been shit without him.
It wouldn't have worked.
Did you enjoy the movie?
You know what? Sadly, I did not see that.
I haven't
seen it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've heard it would bum me out. Like it was shit. Did you like it?
I did.
Great. Yeah. It was fun.
I mean, it's a true story, right? But I heard like they left a bunch of stuff out that they should have. Like they put the razzle part in or something.
Yep.
Am I?
No,
okay. So yeah.
It's been 2 or 3 years since I've seen it. Whenever it came out, but I enjoy it. But dude, I'm a sucker for the '80s, so I love anything that has hair metal.
Yeah.
Dude, I live there. I live there most of the time, dude. I mean, that was my shit.
I really hope the answer is yes. How do you feel about Firehouse?
I love Firehouse.
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
I love Firehouse, dude.
I like how you said, I hope the answer is yes, and then you didn't ask a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't?
You love Firehouse, right? You love Firehouse.
Oh, I think I was going to say,
but
do you like Firehouse?
But they also had good production, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the record sound.
That album sounds so clean.
I mean, look, I don't know if Mutt did that or not. But, like, are you familiar with, you like them, so you're familiar with the song Shake and Tumble?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Dude, it's a fucking it's a stupid song, but it's a rad fucking song. You know what I mean? It's about fucking. Yep. It's a dumb song, but it's so cool, and it sounds great in my truck, dude.
Dude, that came on my Pandora today on my Firehouse station.
David Prater.
Right after That's All She Wrote.
Or Ought to Be a Law, like up the opening lyrics
are
up
Reach
against
for
the
Sky
wall
was
and
great.
spread them, baby. And it's like, that's what you're gonna go with. But hell yeah, that's fucking awesome.
So David Prater, David Prater produced their first 2 albums, and then their third one, Firehouse 3, was produced by Ron Nevison.
Dude, I saw Warrant, Trickster, and Firehouse on the same tour.
Oh, the Blood, Sweat, and Beers?
Oh, God, I don't... Dude, it was 1990.
Blood, Sweat, and Beers. Yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour.
That's a good...
Was
that's
it?
a good tour name.
Oh, hell yeah. That would have been awesome. I've been, like starstruck once. And, like, I usually don't get starstruck, but when I ran into Trickster, I was like, you guys are Trickster.
Trickster.
Hell yeah. Of all the people, I was like, you guys are Trickster. They're like, yes, we are.
That was me and...
See, I don't know.
That was me and Chad Smith when he wandered into Eddie V's one night. It's a restaurant in Austin here that I play at. And he wandered in, and I was just like, holy shit, that is Chad Smith sitting at the bar. Like, and I'm just staring.
Rumor has it that was actually Will Ferrell.
So I was going to
I'm
say
glad you said it, so I didn't have to.
I was gonna say, it's like, man, Will Ferrell, I love your drumming, but the guy who was playing keys was a friend of him, was a friend of Chad's. That's why he came in, and he turned to me and he's like, do not mention Will Ferrell, or he will leave. Like, apparently he's calmed down from that. Apparently he punched somebody. Like, he actually got in like a lawsuit because somebody came up and made that joke, and he just got tired of the joke and hit him. That's the story that I've heard.
Drum off too.
Yeah, well, I think that's where he buried that. That's when he was like, okay, I'm just gonna bury this joke now, like move on from it. So
I want to end on a really high note. Would you mind telling your story of that guitar you showed TJ and I?
I was really hoping you were gonna play a high note. I'm gonna end on a high note.
Yeah.
Bing!
High note!
Okay, so the story.
That's actually something I'm going to start doing. I like that.
End on a high note.
What, just that big squeal?
I'm gonna end on a high note and then play a high note.
I'm gonna I'm trying to find something real quick here. On the inner tubes, because I can't remember all the bands that were there. What the hell's it called? Dude, I know we're on a live show. Fuck it, I don't care. I'll stop.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. So I was working at a rock station in Phoenix, 98 KUPD. This was a long time ago. So it was, so they had recently built Bank One Ballpark, which I think it's called Chase Field or something now. The baseball stadium there.
Yep, Diamondback.
So there hadn't even been a baseball game played there. They just built this thing. So New Year's Eve of 1998 to 1999, we had a big concert there called New Year's Evil. And it was the first and last show to ever happen in that place because our listeners and all the fans fucking destroyed it and ripped all the seats and the grass out. And they sued us and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, but it was...
So it was a great show.
It was a wonderful show.
Yeah.
So we had Megadeth, Pantera, Slayer, Soulfly, Cold Chamber. I mean, the list fucking goes on. All these huge bands, man. God, Clutch was there, I think. Anyway, so Megadeth was finishing up a world tour, and they jumped on this big festival show that we put together. And Dave Mustaine lived in Phoenix at the time, big Arizona guy. So he played his signature Jackson Y2KV, of course, with the Arizona flag on it, like this one here. And he played that on a world tour. And after the show, he handed that to my boss and signed it and gave us the road case. And now I own this guitar signed by Dave Mustaine that says, "I love you guys, KUPD rules, Dave Mustaine." And it's his guitar, and he played it all over the fucking world. And it's the only one with that Arizona flag. And I got that hanging up on my wall here, but I wanted to show Zach earlier because I know he's a big guitar head.
Man, that is such a cool story, man.
It's
I love
so
that.
rad. And I got the road case and everything with it, man. So
does the road case say Megadeth on it?
No, it's just a black Jackson case.
Right on. Oh, yeah. I thought you might like that, Robin.
Oh man, that was dope. Like,
so, but yeah, I saw him. I don't really know Dave that well. I did back in the day, and I saw him on Twitter a while back when he was coming through town, and I was going to go see Megadeth, and I think the show canceled. And I tweeted back or whatever you want to call it. I retweeted him. But I sent him a picture of that guitar, and I was like, "Hey, dude, remember that?" And he didn't say anything. So.
Oh, shit. Well,
there's still time.
I was like, "Hey, you want to buy it back? $40,000."
No, maybe we should start like a hashtag, like get Huff to Megadeth or something. Get Huff to Mustaine.
No, he's gonna ask for it back, and then I'm gonna have to because that's a gentleman thing to do, and I don't want to be a gentleman and give it back. So I'm keeping.
Okay, then no one start that hashtag.
Nobody ever say anything.
Huff does not have.
I've had that. I mean, we've had that since 1998, and it's been mine for 15 years. So
damn,
dude,
that's dope.
That's pretty dope. Man. If is kids still saying dope?
I do.
And then I showed you this one earlier from used to hang around. This one used to hang up in Vinny's house, and they gave it to me when we were. I was helping them clean out the house and stuff, and get ready to sell. So I have that. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. What's that strap behind you?
Oh, that's just a little Squire, a little cheapy.
Is it one you play, or was it given to you?
Yeah, no, I played. Yeah, it's just mine.
Okay, right on, man. Just, I thought maybe Yngwie Malmsteen gave it to you or something.
Yeah. Is he still playing those Squires?
Hey, man, shoot, I don't care what the headstock says, man. He'll make anything sound good, you know.
Yeah. Dude, it was funny. I was just watching. Dude, I'm a sucker for those. What do you call them? Reaction videos. You ever watch those?
Yeah.
YouTube.
On YouTube. I don't know why. I watched one once, like a couple of years ago, and then I fell down a rabbit hole. Now there's all these guys, and I watch, and I'm like, I've been watching for days. These different guys. They're like rappers or whatever, people that aren't into metal.
BRB boys
digging. And they're digging on like Texas Flood and fucking all this Stevie Ray Vaughan shit and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, that must be what it feels like to fucking discover Stevie Ray Vaughan. Look at his face. He doesn't know what to think. And I'm like, because I remember when I used to be like, oh my God, this is so crazy. I love Stevie, but I watched this one, man, and this guy's just watching whatever the fucking some Yngwie tune, and he was like some composer or something.
Rising Force?
Like, I don't know if it was Rising Force or it was just Yngwie with an orchestra. I don't know. Either way, this guy was like critiquing Yngwie, and I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, oh, there goes the E, F, E, A, G again. I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
What are you, dude? Pick up a guitar and show me you can play better, or shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
amen.
Oh, he plays fast. That's his bag, right? Yeah, that's what he does.
I love Yngwie, and what he does, he does phenomenally.
It's amazing. I can watch him for about 15 minutes and I get bored.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only so long I can watch some guy jack off, but
basically what he's doing with his guitar.
You know?
Oh man.
And I ain't mad at him either, but
not even a little bit. He's Rising Force gets me going, and then Like an Angel is go check out that song. There's a live version of that on one of his albums that's absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, but guys, I definitely want to rendezvous this in NAMM 2022 for sure.
We'll do it.
Hey, let's revisit that, man, for sure.
I would love that, and I'd love to get you back on, man. As just to hang. This has been a lot of fun.
Dude, anytime, man. I had a great time, dude. I appreciate you making time for me.
Of course. Well, I'll go ahead and close this out. Everybody who tuned in tonight, thank you so much for listening. It's always a blast. We'll definitely be back next week. Have an amazing week. God bless all you. Mr. TJ.
One last note for TJ, though. That's 2-1 nights right now. Thanks, buddy.
I'm well aware.
I'll see you around, kid. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Of course.
On that note, let me end on a high note. There's still a third period left, and we got the 1-0 lead. Anyways, love you guys. Dennis, thank you for joining. Great meeting you. Great chatting. Do it again. NAMM. And subscribe to that thing, whatever. Check out Dennis in Vegas, whatever. Download his app or radio app. The whole works. Just get it done. Over to you, Robin.
Dennis, thanks so much for coming on. I'm sorry I was a little late tonight. But
well, they told me that's your thing.
Right.
We did not say that.
But this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I look forward to coming into Vegas and hanging out, and hopefully we will make the NAMM thing work. And who knows? Maybe the three of y'all can actually make me like Vegas. So, which I think y'all can.
So
I think y'all can.
Those
I know a guy.
Bold statements, sir.
I have faith in you. I have faith in you. And yes, for those of you wondering, it's 2 fully automatic Nerf guns in the corner.
For none of you wondering.
Everybody was wondering. They always are, Zach. They always are. And yeah, I guess that's well, we have Johnny Gowdy next week. And yeah, subscribe, smash that subscribe button, subscribe to us, subscribe to
like and leave cool comments.
Yeah, subscribe to Mr. Huff over there, keep up with him, and we'll see y'all next week at the same usual time of 8:30. So
unless Robin has to do something else and be late.
I don't have anything next week. Class dismissed.
All right.
Is this thing still on?
Yes it is.
Is it still on?
I mean, yeah, but I'm pushing the button.